In many ways, we have all but given up our right to privacy. We upload our entire lives onto social media, exposing our location and personal information without a second thought. The cloud holds our bank account information, intimate photos, search histories, and more. This is in the midst of mass surveillance, black hat hackers, and an even greater threat looming on the horizon. While we put potentially damaging information about ourselves on the web, we still have one sanctity of privacy remaining: the privacy of thought. Emails can be hacked, letters can be intercepted, and encrypted data can be decoded. Our mental fortress is the last place we can store anything without the threat of it being exposed, until now. With the ability to read a mind, artificial intelligence could break down the last remaining wall of privacy. The potential use of this technology in lethal autonomous weapons invites even greater ethical questions. Artificial intelligence will change our future in big ways, and how it changes is in the hands of our leaders. How will governments and policymakers respond to the use of AI? And what stance are they going to take to ensure it isn't used for evil purposes? When you think of artificial intelligence that can read minds, it sounds like a distant future born in science fiction. The truth is that AI is evolving rapidly, and the first steps towards this technology have already been taken. It's a small step for man and a giant leap for AI kind. In a recent study, the fields of neuroscience and AI came together to map out brainwaves to decode the thoughts that exist within. Through the use of functional magnetic resonance imaging and AI algorithms known as large language models, researchers were able to decrypt what someone was thinking. To accomplish this, 3 volunteers lay in an fMRI scanner while listening to 16 hours of podcasts. The scanner measured blood flow to certain parts of the brain and recorded this information. The large language model, in this case GPT-1 from OpenAI, then integrates this information with the stories and learns how each word relates to a specific brainwave. This isn't even the mind-reading part. This is just the process that trains the language model on how to decipher an individual's specific brainwave patterns. The participants then listened to or imagined a story or watched a movie with no dialogue. Based on the learned information about each subject's brainwaves, the model could then generate sentences that almost gave an idea of what was running through their minds. This is the first time a feat like this has been achieved without the use of a brain-computer interface, a device that is implanted directly on the scalp. It may sound like an impossible task, but the science behind it is pretty simple. When you look at an image, your temporal lobe receives information about what the image is, while the occipital lobe receives information about the layout. The model matches up these brain patterns to form a picture, then spits out an interpretation of the data. This same technology can be used to generate images from people's thoughts. Of course, the system does have its limitations. The interpretations are often incomplete or inaccurate compared to what is being thought. For example, the phrase, "I don't have my driver's license yet," became, "She has not even started to learn to drive yet." The model can also be easily tricked. If the participant thinks of something else while listening to the recorded story, the decoder has no way of telling what thoughts are going on. These types of inaccuracies mean it still needs some development before seeing practical use. If we were to use this in a court of law to extract a confession from a suspect's mind, we would not be able to accept it as valid evidence. So it may be some time before we are pulling people's thoughts from their heads without their consent. Regardless, misusing this technology could very well lead to a Minority Report type future. But if the last few years have taught us anything, it's that artificial intelligence learning algorithms are evolving faster than we can predict. The jump from ChatGPT-3 to GPT-4 showed just how fast these models are adapting over relatively short development times. In their current state, these AI models don't pose a significant threat to mental privacy. The system has to be mapped to a specific person's mind to make any sort of sense of what they are thinking. But what happens when these AI models become powerful enough to pick up on anyone's brainwaves? If you think mass surveillance is an invasion of privacy, wait until they start monitoring your thoughts. The natural evolution would be to equip lethal autonomous weapons with mind-reading capabilities. Imagine a slaughter bot with the ability to read an enemy's mind and know their course of action before they have even taken it. This would create an undefeatable super soldier on the battlefield. It wouldn't be held back by fear, remorse, or hysteria like a human soldier. Countless experts and leaders around the world believe giving machines the power to kill is the ethical option. Not only does it take soldiers out of conflict and out of harm's way, but they are also not burdened with taking the life of another human being. However, this presents another dilemma. If human life is as valued and precious as they say it is, how could we ever consider handing over the right to kill to a machine? At the end of the day, a machine has no understanding of the complexity of life. Regardless, the bottom line paints a different picture. If history proves anything, it's that humanity will choose profit over ethics over and over again, even if it's to our detriment. An article published in the Fiscal Times in 2013 showed that it costs $830,000 a year to deploy a single soldier in Afghanistan. Now, compare that to a $230,000 Talon robot, a small rover that can be outfitted with weapons, and you will understand why ethics won't matter to the military-industrial complex. In 2021, all 193 member states of the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization adopted the first-ever agreement on the ethics of artificial intelligence. It's supposed to define the values and principles needed for the healthy development of AI. However, this document mainly focuses on the protection of personal data, banning the use of AI for social scoring and mass surveillance. What about the use of AI in lethal autonomous weapons and on the battlefield? It is now 2023, and the United States, China, Korea, Iran, Israel, Australia, Russia, Turkey, and the United Kingdom are all steadily investing in the military applications of AI and autonomous weapons. According to a report by Human Rights Watch, the latest directive by the United States Department of Defense is an inadequate response to the threat of autonomous weapons. The directive only applies to the Department of Defense, so it may foster the use and development of AI weaponry. Currently, there is no government-wide policy that controls the use of autonomous weapons in law enforcement and border control. The directive also excludes the CIA, which has played an active role in the use of armed drones. These loopholes pave the way to a system where leaders can claim they are acting in accordance with a code of conduct while furthering unethical development away from the public eye. However, it is not all bad. Policymakers are starting to realize we need to put a leash on the beast of artificial intelligence. The United States, along with many other world powers, are implementing guidelines to direct the ethical use of AI. None are considering an outright ban on the tech just yet. The focus is also shifting to the positive sides of AI development. Sure, artificial intelligence has the potential to harm the world, but it also has the potential to help. Governments around the world have already implemented AI systems to assist with practical applications. Improving healthcare services, managing the spread of disease, and preventing cyber attacks are just some of the ways artificial intelligence is improving our lives. And remember the language model that can decode brainwaves to read minds? This technology could give a voice to those who have had it taken away from them by paralysis, ALS, or a stroke that tears away their ability to communicate. Artificial intelligence has the power to build empires and the potential to crumble societies. There is no way to stop its development now, so we have to put the correct guidelines in place before it's too late. The last thing we want is lethal autonomous weapons in the hands of terrorist groups or worse, power-hungry governments. Artificial intelligence is a wonderful tool that will enhance the abilities of human beings if it is used responsibly. Like any tool, there should always be a human at the controls in case something goes wrong. While it should enhance how we do things, there should be a limit to how much control we give to a computer program. If we keep handing control over to artificial intelligence, eventually we won't be the ones in charge anymore. We also have to consider the consequences of any new technology. What happens when AI doesn't just read your mind but implants a thought there too? A thought that influences your decisions, governs which political party to vote for, or what you should believe. Our mental privacy is the last remaining refuge that solely belongs to us. We willingly share personal information online. Luckily, the Protection of Personal Information Act protects us from any foul play. What will protect your thoughts when artificial intelligence deciphers our brainwaves perfectly?